Muzzle flashes erupted from the tree-line like deadly fireflies, and Staff Sergeant Torres knew they were pinned. "Nobody's making it out of this mess," Corporal Hendricks muttered into his radio, his voice tight with the kind of resignation that came from counting enemy positions and running out of options. The math was brutal. 6 SEALs against what sounded like 20 hostiles positioned in perfect, overlapping fields of fire across the ridgeline above them. Torres pressed his face into the wet earth behind a fallen oak, barked chips raining down as automatic weapons chewed through the wood above his head. The mission had gone sideways the moment they'd crested the hill, walking straight into an ambush that felt orchestrated, planned, inevitable. Now they were trapped in a depression between 2 slopes, surrounded by muzzle flashes and the whine of bullets carving through mountain air. "We need immediate extraction," Hendricks continued into his headset, his words punctuated by the sharp crack of incoming fire. 6 operators compromised. Heavy contact. Coordinates follow. The radio crackled back with static and bad news. Nearest air support was 40 minutes out, ground reinforcements even longer. 40 minutes might as well be 40 hours when rounds were cutting through the forest like a mechanical harvest. Lieutenant Carson crawled up beside Torres, his uniform already torn by thorns and shrapnel. "They've got us bracketed perfectly," he said, raising his voice over the continuous chatter of enemy weapons. "High ground, overlapping sectors, probably been watching us for hours." His assessment carried the weight of experience and the bitter taste of tactical reality. Before we continue with this intense story, drop a comment and let us know what state you're watching from. Maybe you've witnessed incredible marksmanship skills in your area. The enemy fire intensified, forcing all 6 men deeper into whatever cover they could find. Private Martinez pressed himself against a boulder, counting muzzle flashes and trying to identify firing positions. "At least 4 shooters on the north slope," he called out. "Maybe 6 more to the east. They're dug in good, probably had hours to prepare these positions." Torres studied the terrain through his scope, looking for any advantage, any weakness in the enemy's formation. The hostiles had chosen their ground well. Elevated positions with clear fields of fire, natural cover from rocky outcroppings, and what appeared to be prepared fighting positions. This wasn't a chance encounter. This was a carefully planned kill zone. Sergeant Mills, their communications specialist, worked frantically with his radio equipment. "Still no joy on close air support," he reported. "Gunships are committed to another operation. Fixed wing is weather delayed." His voice carried the flat tone of a man delivering a death sentence with military precision. The sound of gunfire echoed through the mountain valleys, a continuous thunder that seemed to come from every direction at once. Torres could hear the distinct signatures of different weapons, the sharp crack of precision rifles, the heavy chatter of machine guns, the rapid pop of assault rifles. The enemy wasn't just numerous. They were well-equipped and professionally coordinated. Carson studied his map, looking for routes that didn't exist. "We could try moving east through that ravine," he suggested, but his tone suggested he knew the futility of the plan. "The moment we move from cover, they'll cut us down." The tactical situation was textbook hopeless. No air support, no reinforcements, no viable escape routes, and an enemy force that held every advantage. Then something changed. A single rifle shot echoed from somewhere high above them, different from the others. Longer range, heavier caliber, coming from a completely different direction. Torres raised his head slightly, listening. That wasn't one of theirs, and it definitely wasn't coming from any of the known enemy positions. The enemy machine gun that had been raking their position suddenly went silent. Torres lifted his head cautiously, scanning the ridgeline where moments before muzzle flashes had been constant as lightning in a storm. The gunner's position showed no movement, no return fire, just an ominous quiet that felt more dangerous than the previous chaos. "That's impossible," Hendricks whispered, his voice carrying a mixture of disbelief and professional skepticism. "Nobody makes shots like that in these conditions. Winds gusting 15 to 20, visibilities maybe 600 meters through this canopy, and that position had to be over 1,000 meters out." His assessment carried the weight of someone who understood the mathematics of long-range precision. Another shot cracked through the mountain air, this one from a completely different angle. A second enemy position erupted in confused shouts before falling silent. Torres felt his tactical mind trying to process what couldn't be possible. Someone was systematically eliminating enemy shooters from positions that should have been beyond effective range for any weapon system he knew. Carson pressed his radio. Unknown sniper, this is Bravo 6. Identify yourself and your position. Static answered him, followed by the distant echo of a third precision shot. Another enemy gun fell silent, leaving gaps in the overlapping fire that had kept them pinned. The mathematical precision was terrifying and beautiful. Has to be one of ours, Martinez said, though his voice carried doubt. Maybe Special Activities Division, maybe Delta. Nobody else has shooters capable of this kind of work. He paused as another shot rang out, watching through his scope as an enemy spotter tumbled from a concealed position. But I've never seen anything like this range and accuracy combination. Mills worked his radio frequencies desperately. Overwatch, this is Bravo 6. Do we have friendly sniper support in our area? Negative, came the reply. No friendly long-range assets assigned to your operational area. Confirm no blue forces beyond your team. The words hit like cold water. Whoever was saving their lives wasn't supposed to exist. The enemy return fire was becoming sporadic, confused. Voices carried across the valley in what sounded like panic as shooters realized they were being hunted by something they couldn't see, couldn't locate, couldn't fight. Torres counted the silent positions. 6 enemy guns eliminated in under 4 minutes, each shot placed with surgical precision that defied every rule of engagement he'd learned. Lieutenant Carson studied the pattern of eliminated positions through his scope. Whoever this is, they're not just accurate, he said quietly. They're reading the tactical situation better than we are. Every position they've hit was a key node in the enemy's overlapping fire plan. This isn't random sniping. It's systematic dismantlement of their entire defensive structure. Sergeant Mills tried different radio frequencies, searching for any explanation. Unknown sniper, if you can hear this, we need coordination for extraction. We have wounded and limited ammunition. Please identify yourself for tactical coordination. The response came not through radio, but through the scope of a rifle. Another impossible shot that silenced the enemy's heavy machine gun position. Torres felt something close to awe creeping into his tactical assessment. Range has to be pushing 1,500 meters, he said, watching another enemy position go dark. Wind conditions are marginal at best. Target acquisition through this canopy should be nearly impossible. But every shot is finding its mark with accuracy that's beyond anything I've seen in 15 years of operations. The remaining enemy forces were beginning to break. Shouts echoed across the valley as surviving shooters abandoned their positions, running for deeper cover or attempting to withdraw entirely. The disciplined ambush was dissolving into chaos as an unknown sniper continued to methodically eliminate anyone who showed themselves. Private Martinez kept count through his scope. That's 11 confirmed enemy down, he reported. 11 shots, 11 kills, from positions we can't even identify. His voice carried the flat amazement of someone witnessing something that challenged every assumption about the possible limits of marksmanship. Carson tried the radio again. Unknown sniper. We're preparing to move to Extraction Point Delta. Request you maintain overwatch during our movement. Again, silence answered him except for the crack of another precision shot that eliminated the last enemy spotter position. Torres began to feel something that hadn't been present since the ambush began. Hope. The mathematical certainty of their death was being rewritten by someone whose capabilities exceeded every parameter he'd been trained to expect. But the questions multiplied with each impossible shot. Who possessed this level of skill? Why weren't they identified on any operational roster? And what kind of training produced marksmanship that seemed to violate the laws of physics? The silence stretched across the mountain valley like a hell breath. Torres counted 15 seconds, then 30, then a full minute without incoming fire. The sudden absence of gunfire felt more unsettling than the previous chaos, as if the mountain itself was waiting for something to break. Move to secondary positions, Carson ordered quietly. Bounding Overwatch, stay low. The team began their tactical movement with the careful precision of men who understood they were alive because someone else was watching their backs. Someone they couldn't identify, couldn't contact, and couldn't understand. As they moved, Hendricks kept his scope trained on the ridgelines where enemy positions had gone silent. "I'm seeing movement up there," he reported. "Looks like survivors try to regroup about 800 meters northeast." His voice carried the tension of a man tracking threats while knowing a guardian angel was tracking the same targets. The response came immediately. Another rifle shot that echoed through the valley with the authority of distant thunder. Through his scope, Hendricks watched an enemy fighter spin and drop just as he'd been raising his weapon toward the moving SEAL team. "Jesus Christ," he whispered. "They're not just covering our movement. They're reading our tactical situation in real time." Mills tried his radio again, cycling through every frequency he could access. "Phantom Sniper, unknown call sign, this is Bravo 6. We need coordination for safe movement to extraction. Your support is keeping us alive, but we need communication." The mountain answered with silence, followed by another precision shot that eliminated a threat Torres hadn't even seen. "That's 17 confirmed," Martinez called out, his voice tight with amazement that bordered on disbelief. 17 shots, 17 kills, from ranges that should be impossible with standard equipment. He paused, watching through his scope as another enemy position erupted in panicked movement. Who the hell has access to equipment and training that exceeds everything we know about long-range precision? Carson studied the tactical situation through his binoculars, trying to understand the geometry of what was happening. The sniper's positioning had to be somewhere on the western ridge, he said, but that's over 1,600 meters from some of these target areas. Even with perfect conditions, that's beyond the effective range of most precision systems. And these aren't perfect conditions. The wind picked up, causing the forest canopy to sway and shift, creating constantly changing patterns of light and shadow. Torres felt his respect for the unknown sniper growing with each impossible shot. Reading wind at this range through forest cover requires experience and skill that goes beyond anything taught in standard sniper schools, he said. This is master-level marksmanship combined with tactical awareness that's almost supernatural. Another enemy position opened fire, attempting to re-establish suppression against the moving SEAL team. The shots went wide, poorly aimed, desperate. Within seconds, the mysterious sniper answered with a single round that silenced the position permanently. The precision was becoming routine, predictable in its perfection, which made it all the more terrifying. Hendricks shook his head as he watched another threat disappear through his scope. "I've worked with the best shooters in the community," he said. "Delta snipers, SEAL Team 6 precision marksmen, Marine Scout snipers who've been doing this for 20 years. Nobody, and I mean nobody, maintains this level of accuracy under these conditions for this duration." The team reached a small clearing where they could establish better defensive positions. Carson immediately tried to establish visual contact with their mysterious protector. "Unknown sniper, if you can see us, we're at grid reference 774-23. We have 1 wounded, limited ammunition, and need to coordinate movement to extraction point Delta." The response came not through radio, but through demonstration. An enemy fighter who had been moving to flank their new position suddenly stumbled and fell 800 meters away. The shot had been fired the instant the threat became visible, as if the sniper had been tracking multiple potential danger areas simultaneously. "That's 19, Martinez reported, his voice carrying a mixture of gratitude and bewilderment. 19 impossible shots from someone who apparently sees everything, tracks everything, and never misses. His hands trembled slightly as he adjusted his scope. "I'm starting to think we're being protected by someone whose capabilities are beyond anything in our operational parameters." Mills continued working his radio, trying every possible frequency and protocol. Unknown Guardian, this is Bravo 6 requesting identification for after-action reporting. Your support has been crucial to mission survival. Please identify unit and call sign for proper recognition. The silence that answered felt heavy with secrets. Torres studied the western ridgeline through his scope, trying to identify any sign of their protector. Muzzle flash signature suggests custom or specialized equipment, he said. Shot intervals indicate someone working alone, not a team. But the tactical awareness and target prioritization shows someone with command-level understanding of battlefield dynamics. The mountain wind carried the sound of enemy voices, distant and panicked. As surviving fighters attempted to withdraw from an engagement they could no longer understand or control. The systematic elimination of their forces by an invisible sniper had transformed their carefully planned ambush into a tactical disaster. The enemy withdrawal was becoming a rout. Through his scope, Torres watched panicked fighters abandoning equipment and running for deeper forest cover, their disciplined ambush dissolving into chaos. But every time someone tried to maintain a rearguard position, another impossible shot would ring out across the valley. Carson attempted radio contact again, his voice carrying the frustration of a tactical leader operating without critical information. Unknown sniper, we're moving to extraction point Delta in 5 minutes. Request you maintain overwatch during movement. We still need identification for operational security and after-action reporting. The mountain responded with its familiar silence. That's 22 confirmed, Martinez called out, watching another enemy position go silent through his scope. 22 shots, 22 kills, 0 misses. His voice carried the flat amazement of someone witnessing something that challenged every assumption about human capability. Whoever this is, they're operating beyond the parameters of anything I've seen in 8 years of special operations. Mills had exhausted every radio, frequency, and protocol in his communications arsenal. I've tried every possible call sign and identification code, he reported. Military, CIA, Special Activities Division, even foreign liaison protocols. Either our guardian angel isn't authorized to communicate, or they're operating under classification levels we don't have access to. The team began their movement toward the extraction point, maintaining tactical spacing while trusting their lives to someone they couldn't see or contact. Hendricks kept his weapon ready, scanning for threats while knowing that any danger would probably be eliminated before he could identify it. The psychological pressure of depending on an unknown protector was almost as intense as the previous enemy fire. Another shot echoed across the valley, and Torres watched through his scope as an enemy sniper who had been setting up to cover the withdrawal suddenly slumped forward. The counter-battery fire had been instant, precise, final. That target was over 1,700 meters out, he said quietly, through forest cover, with wind conditions that are marginal at best. This is beyond world-class marksmanship. This is something else entirely. Carson tried a different approach on his radio. Unknown sniper, we understand operational security concerns. Can you provide any guidance for safe egress routes? We're moving to extraction point Delta, but need to know if you've identified additional threats in our path. The response came through rifle fire, another distant shot that eliminated a threat they hadn't even detected. The mathematics of the situation were becoming impossible to ignore. Lieutenant Carson studied his map, calculating angles and distances. Based on shot timing and target locations, our protector has to be positioned somewhere on the western ridge system, he said, but that puts effective engagement ranges between 14 and 1,800 meters. Those aren't shooting ranges. Those are artillery distances. Mills shook his head as he packed his radio equipment. I've worked communications with every elite unit in the inventory, he said. Delta, SEAL Team 6, Special Activities Division, Marine Force Recon. Nobody operates with this level of autonomous authority and this degree of operational security. Our Guardian is either completely off the books or operating under protocols that exceed our clearance levels. Private Martinez kept count as they moved, his scope tracking the systematic elimination of enemy forces. 24 confirmed now, he reported. What started as a 20-plus enemy force is down to maybe 3 or 4 survivors, all of them running. His voice carried grudging admiration. This isn't just marksmanship. This is tactical dominance through precision fire. The forest around them felt different now, charged with the presence of someone watching from the shadows. Torres found himself scanning the western ridgelines not for enemies, but for any sign of their protector. Muzzle signature indicates a heavy precision rifle, probably something in the 300 Winchester Magnum class or larger, he said. But even with premium ammunition and perfect conditions, these shots are pushing the absolute limits of ballistic possibility. Hendricks paused at a tactical bound, studying the enemy withdrawal through his scope. They're not just retreating, they're fleeing, he observed. Professional fighters don't abandon equipment and positions unless they're facing something that fundamentally breaks their tactical understanding. Our sniper isn't just winning this engagement. They're psychologically destroying the enemy's will to fight. Carson checked his watch and calculated movement times to the extraction point. We'll be at Delta in 12 minutes, he said into his radio. Unknown sniper, if you're monitoring this frequency, we need to know if the landing zone is secure. Our extraction bird won't come in hot if there are active threats in the area. The mountain answered with another rifle shot that eliminated what appeared to be the last organized enemy position. The tactical situation had completely reversed. What began as a hopeless ambush had become a demonstration of precision marksmanship that bordered on the supernatural. But the questions multiplied with each impossible shot. Who possessed this level of skill? Why weren't they identified in any operational briefing? And what kind of training produced capabilities that seemed to exceed the limits of human performance? Torres felt a mixture of gratitude and unease as they approached the extraction point. Someone with godlike marksmanship skills was protecting them, but that same someone operated completely outside normal military protocols and identification procedures. In the world of special operations, unknown capabilities were often more dangerous than known threats. The extraction point lay in a natural clearing surrounded by dense forest, a small meadow that had been designated for helicopter landings during mission planning. Torres scanned the perimeter through his scope, looking for any signs of enemy movement, while knowing their mysterious protector was probably doing the same thing with impossible precision from somewhere in the mountains. Carson established a defensive perimeter and immediately tried to contact their extraction bird. Nighthawk 7, this is Bravo 6 at Extraction Point Delta. Landing zone appears secure, but we've had unknown sniper support throughout engagement. Request confirmation that you're tracking any friendly assets in this operational area. The radio crackled back with confusion rather than clarity. Negative, Bravo 6. No friendly sniper assets assigned to your mission area. Confirm you have unidentified personnel providing fire support. Carson exchanged glances with his team, the implications settling like cold stones in their stomachs. Their guardian angel wasn't just unknown. They were completely unauthorized according to official records. Mills worked his radio desperately, trying higher command frequencies. This is Bravo 6 requesting immediate clarification on special operations assets in our area. We've received precision fire support from unknown sniper. 26 confirmed enemy kills, operating at ranges exceeding 1,800 meters. Request identification and authorization status. The response came through encrypted channels, carrying the flat authority of someone reading from classified databases. Bravo 6, negative on any authorized precision assets in your operational area. Note Delta, no CIA Special Activities Division, no Joint Task Force elements assigned to provide overwatch. Confirm details of unknown support for immediate investigation. Hendricks kept his scope trained on the western ridgelines, searching for any visual contact with their protector. That's 27 now, he reported as another distant shot echoed across the valley. Someone just eliminated what looked like an enemy observer about 2,000 meters out. His voice carried the bewilderment of someone witnessing capabilities that exceeded every training manual he'd ever studied. Torres felt the weight of operational security concerns pressing against his gratitude for being alive. In special operations, unknown assets were security breaches by definition. But unknown assets with this level of capability represented something far more serious. Either a massive intelligence failure or the presence of someone operating completely outside normal command structures. Private Martinez maintained his count while scanning for remaining threats. 28 confirmed kills from a single shooter, he said quietly. 0 misses, 0 wasted ammunition, perfect target prioritization. This isn't just exceptional marksmanship. This is tactical omniscience combined with shooting skills that border on supernatural. The sound of rotor blades began to echo through the mountain valleys as their extraction helicopter approached. Carson tried one final radio attempt to contact their mysterious protector. Unknown sniper. Extraction bird inbound in 3 minutes. Your support has been crucial to mission survival. Please identify yourself for proper recognition and security clearance. The response came not through radio, but through one final demonstration of impossible precision. An enemy fighter who had been moving to set up a rocket attack on the incoming helicopter suddenly jerked and fell, nearly 2,000 meters away. The shot had been fired the instant the threat to their extraction became apparent. Lieutenant Carson shook his head as he watched the helicopter approach. That's 29 confirmed kills from someone who apparently sees everything, anticipates everything, and never misses, he said. But officially, that someone doesn't exist. His voice carried the flat concern of a tactical leader facing a security situation that had no precedent in his experience. Mills tried one last communication attempt as the helicopter circled for landing. Unknown Guardian, this is Bravo 6 requesting any final guidance. We're extracting now, but your operational status requires immediate clarification through proper channels. The silence that answered felt heavy with secrets that extended far beyond their current mission. Hendricks kept his weapon ready as they prepared for extraction, still scanning for threats while knowing their protector was probably tracking the same areas with impossible precision. Whoever saved our lives today operates with capabilities that exceed anything in our operational knowledge, he said. But unknown capabilities in this business usually mean classified capabilities and classified at levels we don't have access to. The helicopter touched down in the clearing, rotor wash sending forest debris swirling through the air. As the team prepared to board, Torres took one final look at the western ridgelines where their guardian angel maintained their watch. Somewhere in those mountains was someone whose marksmanship skills transcended everything he understood about human limitations. Carson provided a quick briefing to the helicopter crew as they lifted off. Unknown sniper provided precision overwatch. 29 confirmed enemy kills, operating at ranges that should be impossible with standard equipment. Request immediate operational security review and identification of responsible unit. The crew exchanged worried glances that spoke volumes about the security implications. As the helicopter gained altitude, Torres could see the battlefield spread out below them. The systematic elimination of enemy positions was visible from the air, a perfectly executed tactical masterpiece performed by someone who officially didn't exist. The questions that had begun with gratitude were evolving into concerns that extended far beyond their successful extraction. Mills worked his secure communications equipment as they flew toward base, trying to piece together an operational puzzle that seemed to have no solution. Unknown sniper with world-class capabilities, operating without authorization, providing perfect tactical support, he reported to headquarters. Either our intelligence systems have massive gaps, or someone with extraordinary abilities is operating completely outside normal command structures. The debriefing room at Forward Operating Base Griffin buzzed with tension as intelligence officers tried to make sense of an operational report that challenged every assumption about battlefield awareness and sniper capabilities. Major Reynolds, the base intelligence officer, studied Torres and his team with the expression of someone trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. "Let me understand this correctly," Major Reynolds said, his voice carrying skeptical precision. A single unknown sniper eliminated 29 enemy fighters at ranges exceeding 2,000 meters, with 0 missed shots, while providing tactical overwatch for your extraction. His eyes moved from one team member to another, searching for any sign that their story might be exaggerated or mistaken. Carson placed his mission log on the conference table with the confidence of someone who had triple-checked every detail. 29 confirmed kills, sir. Perfect target prioritization, instant response to emerging threats, shooting accuracy that exceeded anything in our operational experience. His voice carried the flat certainty of someone reporting facts that defied reasonable explanation. Captain Williams from Operational Security leaned forward, his expression tight with concern. And this unknown sniper had no radio contact, no identification protocols, no coordination with command structures. He paused, letting the security implications settle. That's not exceptional support. That's a massive intelligence failure or something far more serious. Hendricks provided technical details with the precision of someone who understood the mathematics of impossible shots. Wind conditions were marginal. Visibility was limited by forest canopy. Target ranges varied from 1,400 to over 2,000 meters. His voice carried professional amazement. Even with perfect equipment and ideal conditions, maintaining that accuracy over that duration should be impossible. Major Reynolds studied satellite imagery of the operational area, trying to identify potential sniper positions that could account for the described performance. Based on your target locations and shot timing, the sniper had to be positioned somewhere on the Western Ridge system, he said. But we have no assets assigned to that area, no friendly forces authorized for independent operations. Mills presented his communication logs with the thoroughness of someone who understood the security implications. I attempted contact using every available frequency and protocol, sir. Military channels, CIA coordination codes, Joint Task Force identification procedures. Either our guardian angel wasn't authorized to communicate, or they operate under classification levels that exceed our access. Private Martinez maintained his count with mathematical precision. 29 shots, 29 confirmed kills, sir. No wasted ammunition, no missed targets, perfect tactical awareness of battlefield dynamics. His voice carried the bewilderment of someone who had witnessed capabilities that transcended human limitations. This wasn't just marksmanship, it was tactical omniscience. Captain Williams examined the ballistic evidence with growing concern. Shell casings recovered from enemy positions confirmed precision rifle fire, probably .300 Winchester Magnum or larger caliber. But the accuracy at these ranges suggests custom ammunition, specialized equipment, and training that exceeds anything in our inventory. The base commander, Colonel Harper, entered the briefing room with the expression of someone who had been reviewing classified databases without finding answers. I've checked every possible source, he announced. No Delta assets, no SEAL Team 6 elements, no CIA Special Activities Division operators assigned to your mission area. His voice carried the weight of someone facing an unprecedented security situation. Torres felt the growing weight of questions that had no comfortable answers. Someone with world-class capabilities protected our lives, sir, but that someone operates completely outside normal military structures. In special operations, unknown assets represent potential threats regardless of their apparent helpfulness. Major Reynolds pulled up additional satellite imagery, studying the tactical situation from multiple angles. The systematic elimination of enemy positions shows perfect understanding of battlefield geometry and threat prioritization, he said. This level of tactical awareness, combined with impossible marksmanship, suggests someone with extensive special operations experience operating independently. Hendricks provided additional technical observations that deepened the mystery. Shot intervals suggest a single operator working alone, not a team. But the battlefield awareness and target selection indicates someone with command-level understanding of tactics and threat assessment. His voice carried professional respect, mixed with deep concern. Captain Williams outlined the security protocols that would follow their report. We're implementing a full operational security review of the mission area, he said. Satellite analysis, communication intercepts, any possible explanation for unauthorized precision assets providing tactical support. But honestly, this represents a security situation we have no precedent for handling. Colonel Harper studied the mission reports with the expression of someone facing implications that extended far beyond a successful extraction. 29 confirmed kills from an unknown sniper suggest capabilities that exceed anything in our operational databases, he said quietly. Either our intelligence systems have massive blind spots, or someone with extraordinary abilities is operating completely outside our awareness. Mills continued working his communication equipment, trying to piece together operational fragments that might explain their mysterious protector. No radio chatter, no electronic signatures, no coordination with any known command structure, he reported. Whoever saved our lives operates with complete tactical independence and capabilities that border on supernatural. The briefing room fell silent as the implications settled around them like gathering storm clouds. Someone with godlike marksmanship skills had saved their lives, but that same someone represented a security question mark that challenged everything they understood about operational awareness and command authority. In the world of special operations, unknown capabilities were often more dangerous than known threats, regardless of their apparent benevolence. The secure conference room at Forward Operating Base Griffin had filled with personnel as word of the impossible sniper spread through command channels. Colonel Harper faced a room of intelligence officers, security specialists, and senior NCOs who were struggling to process an operational report that challenged every assumption about battlefield awareness and precision marksmanship. "I've contacted every possible source," announced Major Collins from Strategic Intelligence, his voice carrying the frustration of someone who had exhausted classified databases without finding answers. No black projects, no deep cover operations, no experimental programs assigned to your operational area. Whoever provided that precision support operates completely outside official channels. Captain Rodriguez from Force Protection studied satellite imagery with the intensity of someone searching for explanations that might not exist. Based on shell, casing analysis, and ballistic trajectories, our unknown sniper was positioned approximately 1,800 meters from the primary engagement area, she said. But thermal imaging shows no heat signatures, no equipment signatures, no evidence of human presence in that location. Torres felt the surreal weight of describing capabilities that seemed to violate physical laws. The target acquisition speed was instantaneous, sir. Enemy fighters would appear and be eliminated within seconds, sometimes before we could even identify them as threats. His voice carried the bewilderment of someone who had witnessed tactical omniscience in action. Sergeant First Class Baker, the base's senior sniper instructor, shook his head as he reviewed the technical specifications. "I've been teaching precision marksmanship for 12 years, he said quietly. The described performance exceeds every parameter we use for training world-class snipers. 29 consecutive hits at ranges up to 2,000 meters through forest cover in marginal wind conditions. That's not human-level performance." Major Reynolds pulled up additional intelligence reports, searching for any pattern that might explain their mysterious protector. "We've had 3 similar incidents in the past 18 months, he announced. Unknown precision support for special operations teams. Perfect accuracy, no identification, no radio contact. Someone with extraordinary capabilities is providing tactical support across multiple operational areas." Lieutenant Carson provided additional tactical details that deepened the mystery. "The battlefield awareness was complete, sir. Our protector anticipated threats before we could identify them, eliminated enemy positions we didn't even know existed, provided perfect overwatch during our extraction. This level of tactical omniscience suggests someone with access to intelligence sources we don't understand." Captain Williams from Operational Security outlined the expanding investigation with growing concern. "We're reviewing every possible explanation," he said. "Experimental technology, foreign liaison operations, deep black programs that exceed our clearance levels. But the evidence suggests someone operating with complete independence and capabilities that transcend our operational understanding. Master Sergeant Thompson, with 25 years of special operations experience, provided historical context that made the situation even more troubling. "I've worked with every elite unit in the inventory," he said. Delta snipers, SEAL precision marksmen, Marine Scout snipers with decades of combat experience. Nobody maintains this level of accuracy under these conditions. This represents capabilities that shouldn't exist. Colonel Harper studied communication intercepts with the expression of someone facing implications that extended far beyond successful mission support. No electronic signatures, no radio transmissions, no coordination with any known command structure, he said. "Our guardian angel operates with complete tactical independence and shooting skills that border on supernatural." Private Martinez repeated his count with mathematical precision that highlighted the impossibility of what they had witnessed. 29 shots, 29 confirmed kills, sir. 0 misses, 0 wasted ammunition. Perfect threat prioritization. His voice carried amazement that bordered on disbelief. "Whoever protected us operates beyond the parameters of human capability." Captain Rodriguez examined ballistic evidence with growing bewilderment. Custom ammunition, probably hand-loaded for maximum precision. Equipment signatures suggest a rifle system that exceeds anything in our current inventory. But even with perfect equipment, these shots require skills that transcend everything we understand about precision marksmanship. Major Collins outlined the security implications with the gravity of someone facing an unprecedented situation. Someone with world-class capabilities is providing tactical support without authorization, identification, or coordination with command structures, he said. That represents either a massive intelligence failure or the presence of someone operating completely outside our operational awareness. Sergeant Baker provided technical analysis that made the situation even more mysterious. Wind reading at these ranges requires experience that takes decades to develop. Target acquisition through forest cover demands skills that exceed standard training. But the combination of perfect accuracy and tactical omniscience suggests capabilities that shouldn't be possible. The room fell silent as personnel tried to process information that challenged every assumption about human limitations and operational security. Someone with godlike marksmanship skills was protecting American forces, but that same someone operated in complete violation of every protocol they understood. In the world of special operations, unknown capabilities represented potential threats regardless of their apparent helpfulness. Colonel Harper closed the briefing with words that carried the weight of expanding investigation. "We're implementing full-spectrum analysis of this situation," he announced. "Satellite surveillance, communication intercepts, ballistic analysis, every possible method of identifying our mysterious protector. But until we understand who has these capabilities and why they're operating independently, we're dealing with a security situation that has no precedent in our experience." The secure video conference linked forward operating Base Griffin with Pentagon command centers, CIA headquarters, and Special Operations Command. General Morrison's face filled the main screen, his expression carrying the gravity of someone dealing with a security situation that had escalated beyond field-level concerns. "Gentlemen, we have a problem that extends far beyond your operational area," General Morrison announced, his voice cutting through the encrypted communication with military precision. "Your unknown sniper represents the 4th confirmed incident of unauthorized precision support in the past year. Someone with extraordinary capabilities is operating completely outside our command awareness." Colonel Harper felt the weight of implications that reached the highest levels of national security. "For separate incidents, sir? The pattern suggests someone providing systematic support for special operations teams across multiple theaters." His voice carried the concern of someone realizing the scope of what they were dealing with extended far beyond a single mysterious intervention. Deputy Director Walsh from the CIA appeared on a secondary screen, his expression tight with the frustration of someone who had exhausted intelligence databases without finding answers. "We've reviewed every possible source," he said. "No black projects, no deep cover operations, no experimental programs that could account for these capabilities. Your guardian angel operates completely outside official channels and oversight." Brigadier General Stevens from Special Operations Command provided additional context that made the situation even more troubling. Similar reports from Afghanistan, Syria, and 2 classified operational areas, he said. Unknown precision support, perfect accuracy, no identification, no radio contact. Someone with world-class capabilities is providing tactical overwatch across multiple combat zones. Torres felt the surreal weight of being part of something that challenged fundamental assumptions about operational security. "The capabilities we witnessed exceeded everything in our training and experience, sir. Perfect target acquisition, impossible accuracy, tactical awareness that bordered on omniscience." His voice carried professional amazement, mixed with growing concern. Admiral Richardson from Joint Special Operations Command examined satellite imagery with the intensity of someone searching for patterns that might explain the impossible. "Based on ballistic analysis across all 4 incidents, we're dealing with a single operator or a very small team using consistent equipment and tactics," he said. "But thermal imaging, electronic surveillance, and communication intercepts show no evidence of human presence." Major Collins provided technical analysis that deepened the mystery across multiple operations. "Shell casing analysis confirms identical ammunition signatures across 3 of the 4 incidents, sir. Custom loads, probably hand-manufactured for maximum precision. But the shooting positions show no equipment signatures, no heat traces, no evidence of sustained human presence." General Morrison outlined the expanding investigation with the authority of someone coordinating resources at the highest levels. "We're implementing full-spectrum analysis," he announced. "NSA communication intercepts, NRO satellite surveillance, CIA human intelligence assets, every possible method of identifying our mysterious protector. But the evidence suggests capabilities that transcend our understanding of human limitations." Lieutenant Carson provided tactical details that highlighted the impossibility of what multiple teams had witnessed. "Perfect battlefield awareness across different terrain types and combat situations, sir. Our protector anticipated threats before we could identify them, eliminated enemy positions with surgical precision, provided flawless overwatch during extractions. This level of performance should be impossible to maintain across multiple operations." Deputy Director Walsh examined psychological profiles with growing bewilderment. "The tactical decision-making shows professional military training at the highest levels," he said. "But the operational independence and refusal to communicate suggests someone operating completely outside normal command structures. We're dealing with someone who possesses world-class capabilities but chooses to operate in complete isolation." Brigadier General Stevens outlined security protocols that were being implemented across multiple command levels. "All special operations teams are being briefed on potential unknown support," he said. "But until we identify our guardian angel, we're operating with a security question mark that challenges everything we understand about battlefield awareness and operational oversight." Private Martinez repeated statistics that had become increasingly impossible to ignore. 107 confirmed enemy kills across 4 documented incidents, sir. 0 missed shots, 0 tactical errors, perfect threat prioritization in complex battlefield environments. His voice carried the flat amazement of someone who had witnessed capabilities that defied rational explanation. Admiral Richardson provided strategic analysis that made the situation even more complex. "The precision and consistency suggest someone with decades of special operations experience," he said, "but the operational patterns show complete disregard for standard protocols, chain of command, and coordination procedures. We're dealing with someone who has the skills of our best operators, but operates completely outside our authority." Colonel Harper asked the question that was troubling everyone in the conference. Is it possible we're dealing with someone who was previously part of our community, sir? Someone with legitimate training who's now operating independently for reasons we don't understand. The silence that followed spoke volumes about possibilities no one wanted to consider. General Morrison closed the briefing with words that carried the weight of expanding investigation and growing concern. We're treating this as a priority, one security situation, he announced. Someone with extraordinary capabilities is providing tactical support without authorization, identification, or oversight. Until we understand who has these skills and why they're operating independently, we're dealing with a security situation that has no precedent in our operational experience. The secure communication links closed, leaving personnel at Forward Operating Base Griffin with the knowledge that their mysterious protector represented something far more significant than a single battlefield intervention. Someone with godlike marksmanship skills was operating across multiple combat zones, protecting American forces while remaining completely invisible to the most sophisticated intelligence apparatus in the world. The Joint Task Force conference room at the Pentagon buzzed with the tension of an investigation that had consumed resources at every level of the intelligence community. General Morrison faced a room filled with representatives from every major agency, all struggling to identify someone whose capabilities seemed to transcend human limitations. "We've exhausted every database in the intelligence community," announced Director Hayes from the NSA, his voice carrying the frustration of someone who had deployed the most sophisticated surveillance apparatus in the world without results. No electronic signatures, no communication intercepts, no digital footprints. Whoever is providing this precision support operates with complete electromagnetic silence. Admiral Chun from Naval Special Warfare Command studied ballistic reports from 5 confirmed incidents spanning 3 theaters of operation. The shooting accuracy is consistent across different environmental conditions, terrain types, and tactical situations, she said. Wind speeds from calm to 20 knots, ranges from 800 to 2,200 meters. Perfect performance in every documented case. Colonel Brennan from Delta Force provided technical analysis that made the mystery even more troubling. "We've tested our best snipers against the documented shot parameters," he said quietly. "Using the finest equipment available, in controlled conditions, with unlimited preparation time. Nobody achieved even 70% of the accuracy we're seeing from our unknown protector." Torres felt the weight of being part of something that had captured the attention of the highest levels of national security. "The tactical awareness was perfect, sir. Our protector seemed to understand battlefield geometry better than we did, anticipated threats before they materialized, provided overwatch that exceeded anything in our operational experience." His voice carried professional amazement mixed with deep concern. Deputy Director Martinez from the CIA examined psychological profiles with growing bewilderment. "The operational patterns suggest someone with extensive special operations background, probably decades of combat experience," she said. "But the complete independence and refusal to coordinate indicates someone operating outside normal military psychology and command acceptance." General Morrison outlined the expanding investigation with the authority of someone coordinating unprecedented resources. "We've deployed satellite surveillance, human intelligence assets, electronic warfare specialists, behavioral analysts," he said. "Every tool in our arsenal is focused on identifying our guardian angel. But the evidence suggests capabilities that challenge our understanding of human limitations." Master Chief Peterson from SEAL Team 6 provided comparative analysis that highlighted the impossibility of sustained performance at this level. "I've worked with the best precision marksmen in the world," he said. "Olympic shooters, world record holders, snipers with confirmed kills at extreme ranges. Nobody maintains this level of accuracy under combat stress for extended periods. This represents capabilities that shouldn't exist." Captain Foster from Air Force Special Operations examined environmental factors across multiple incidents. Desert conditions in Syria, mountain terrain in Afghanistan, tropical humidity in classified operational areas, she said. Perfect shooting performance regardless of atmospheric conditions, elevation changes, or weather patterns. This consistency suggests equipment and skills that transcend standard limitations. Director Hayes provided electronic warfare analysis that deepened the mystery. No radio emissions, no GPS signatures, no satellite communication traces, he said. Complete electromagnetic silence while maintaining perfect tactical coordination with ground forces. Either our protector uses technology we don't understand or operates with capabilities that exceed our monitoring systems. Lieutenant Carson described tactical coordination that seemed to violate the laws of battlefield awareness. Perfect timing with our movements, instant response to emerging threats, flawless understanding of our tactical intentions without any communication, he said. Our protector operated with tactical omniscience that suggested access to intelligence sources we couldn't identify. Admiral Chun examined the strategic implications with growing concern. Someone with world-class capabilities is providing tactical support across multiple combat zones without authorization, identification, or oversight, she said. That represents either a massive intelligence failure or the presence of someone operating completely outside our operational awareness and control. Private Martinez provided statistical analysis that highlighted the mathematical impossibility of what they had witnessed. 137 confirmed kills across 5 documented incidents, sir. 0 missed shots, 0 tactical errors. Perfect threat prioritization in complex battlefield environments. His voice carried the flat amazement of someone who had witnessed capabilities that defied rational explanation. Colonel Brennan asked the question that was troubling every special operations professional in the room. Is it possible we're dealing with someone who was trained by us but is now operating independently? He said quietly. Someone with legitimate special operations background who's chosen to operate outside command authority for reasons we don't understand. The room fell silent as personnel considered implications that challenged everything they understood about operational security and human capability. Someone with godlike marksmanship skills was protecting American forces across multiple theaters, but that same someone operated in complete violation of every protocol and oversight mechanism they possessed. General Morrison closed the briefing with words that carried the weight of unprecedented investigation and growing urgency. We're implementing maximum priority search protocols, he announced. Every available resource is focused on identifying our mysterious protector. But until we understand who has these capabilities and why they're operating independently, we're dealing with a security situation that represents either our greatest asset or our most dangerous unknown factor. The conference room began to empty, leaving behind the weight of questions that had no comfortable answers. Someone with extraordinary capabilities was protecting American lives, but that same someone challenged every assumption about operational control, authorization, and the limits of human performance in combat situations. The emergency session at the Pentagon carried the urgency of a crisis that had consumed intelligence resources for months without resolution. General Morrison faced a room of frustrated officials who had deployed every surveillance technology in existence without identifying their mysterious protector. We have a 6th confirmed incident, announced Director Hayes from the NSA, his voice tight with the exhaustion of someone who had pushed surveillance systems beyond their design limits. Special Operations Team in Somalia received precision overwatch from unknown sniper. 43 enemy kills at ranges exceeding 2,000 meters. Same ammunition signature, same impossible accuracy, same complete electromagnetic silence. Admiral Chun from Naval Special Warfare Command studied tactical reports with growing desperation. The operational pattern is accelerating, she said. 6 incidents in 8 months. Always supporting American forces in critical situations, always with perfect tactical execution. But despite deploying our most sophisticated tracking systems, we have 0 identification of our guardian angel. Colonel Brennan from Delta Force provided ballistic analysis that made the situation even more impossible to understand. We've analyzed shell casings from 4 different operational areas, he said. Identical custom ammunition loads, consistent rifle signatures, perfect shooting performance across diverse environmental conditions. We're dealing with someone whose capabilities exceed every parameter we use for training world-class snipers. Torres felt the surreal weight of being part of something that had challenged the most sophisticated intelligence apparatus in the world. The tactical coordination was flawless, sir. Our protector understood our mission objectives, anticipated our tactical needs, provided perfect overwatch without any communication or coordination. His voice carried professional amazement that had only grown stronger over months of investigation. Deputy Director Martinez from the CIA examined personnel records with the intensity of someone searching for explanations that might not exist. We've reviewed every possible candidate with the training and capability to perform at this level, she said. Current special operations personnel, recently retired operators, foreign liaisons with precision training. Nobody matches the performance profile we're documenting. General Morrison outlined the expanding search with the authority of someone coordinating resources that had never been deployed for a single individual. We've implemented global surveillance protocols, he announced. Satellite tracking, electronic warfare monitoring, human intelligence assets in every major operational area. But our mysterious protector continues to operate with complete invisibility to our detection systems. Master Chief Peterson from SEAL Team 6 provided comparative analysis that highlighted the impossibility of sustained performance at this level. I've worked with precision marksmen who hold world records, he said quietly. Olympic champions, military snipers with decades of combat experience, specialists with confirmed kills at extreme ranges. Nobody maintains this level of accuracy under combat stress across multiple theaters and environmental conditions. Captain Foster from Air Force Special Operations examined environmental data that made the mystery even more profound. Temperature variations from -20 to +110 degrees, humidity levels from desert dry to tropical saturation, wind conditions from calm to gale force, she said. Perfect shooting performance regardless of atmospheric conditions that would challenge our best equipment and most experienced operators. Director Hayes provided electronic warfare analysis that seemed to violate the laws of modern surveillance. Complete electromagnetic silence while maintaining perfect tactical awareness, he said. No radio communications, no GPS tracking, no satellite linkage, no electronic signatures of any kind. Either our protector uses technology that exceeds our understanding or operates with capabilities that transcend our monitoring systems. Lieutenant Carson described tactical omniscience that seemed impossible for any human operator. Perfect understanding of battlefield geometry, instant recognition of emerging threats, flawless coordination with ground forces without any communication, he said. Our protector operated with awareness that suggested access to intelligence sources we couldn't identify or technology we didn't understand. Admiral Chun examined the strategic implications with growing alarm. Someone with extraordinary capabilities is providing tactical support across multiple combat zones while remaining completely invisible to the most sophisticated surveillance apparatus ever deployed, she said. That represents either a fundamental failure of our intelligence systems or the presence of someone whose abilities exceed our understanding of human limitations. Private Martinez provided statistical analysis that had become mathematically impossible to explain. 181 confirmed kills across 6 documented incidents, sir. 0 missed shots, 0 tactical errors. Perfect threat prioritization in complex battlefield environments across 3 different theaters of operation. His voice carried the flat amazement of someone who had witnessed capabilities that challenged the laws of physics. Colonel Brennan voiced the question that was consuming every special operations professional involved in the investigation. We're dealing with someone who has the tactical skills of our best operators, but operates completely outside our authority and detection, he said. The combination of world-class capabilities and complete independence suggests someone who is trained by us, but has chosen to operate beyond our control for reasons we can't understand. The room fell silent as the implications settled around them like gathering storm clouds. Someone with godlike marksmanship skills continued to protect American forces while remaining completely invisible to every surveillance system and intelligence asset they possessed. The investigation had reached a breaking point where the questions outnumbered the answers by an impossible margin. General Morrison closed the emergency session with words that carried the weight of unprecedented failure and growing desperation. We're dealing with someone whose capabilities exceed our understanding and whose operational independence challenges every assumption about surveillance and control, he announced. Until we identify our mysterious protector, we're operating with a security situation that represents either our greatest unknown asset or our most dangerous intelligence failure. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source, a routine equipment inventory at a remote forward operating base in eastern Afghanistan. Sergeant First Class Williams was conducting his monthly weapons audit when he noticed something that made him pause and look twice at his clipboard. "We're missing a rifle," Williams reported to his commanding officer, his voice carrying the concern of someone who understood that missing weapons represented serious security violations. Custom Precision Rifle, serial number designation Tango 774. Last recorded use was 18 months ago during Operation Mountain Guardian. Major Patterson examined the equipment logs with growing interest. Mountain Guardian was classified, he said, reviewing the operational details on his secure terminal. Single operator mission, deep reconnaissance in hostile territory. Primary objective was intelligence, gathering on enemy positions threatening coalition supply routes. His voice carried the precision of someone piecing together fragments of classified operations. Williams checked additional records with the thoroughness of someone who suspected the missing equipment might be connected to something larger. The rifle was checked out to Staff Sergeant Elena Vasquez, he reported. Specialized sniper, attached to Special Operations Command for independent reconnaissance missions. But according to personnel records, Vasquez was declared missing in action during Mountain Guardian. Major Patterson felt pieces of an impossible puzzle beginning to align in ways that challenged everything he understood about the situation. "Pull her complete service record," he ordered, his voice tight with the anticipation of someone approaching a revelation that might explain months of mystery. Everything, training history, deployment records, specialized qualifications, mission assignments. The classified terminal displayed a service record that made both men pause in recognition of exceptional capability. Expert marksman qualification at age 19, Williams read aloud. Advanced Sniper School honor graduate, long-range precision specialist certification, combat deployment to Syria, Afghanistan, and 2 classified operational areas. His voice carried growing amazement as he continued reading. Master-level precision shooting instructor, Patterson continued, studying qualifications that exceeded standard special operations training. Ballistic specialist certification, custom ammunition development course, advanced tactical coordination training. Confirmed kills at ranges exceeding 1,800 meters in combat conditions. He paused as the implications settled. This is world-class capability combined with extensive combat experience. Williams examined mission records that painted a picture of exceptional performance under impossible conditions. 12 successful deep reconnaissance missions, he said quietly. Always operating independently, always in the most dangerous territory. Perfect mission completion rate. According to her tactical evaluations, Vasquez was considered one of the finest precision marksmen in special operations. Major Patterson studied the final mission report with growing understanding of what they had discovered. Mountain Guardian required 72 hours of deep reconnaissance in territory controlled by enemy forces, he said. Vasquez was inserted alone, tasked with intelligence gathering and threat assessment. Her extraction was scheduled for 48 hours ago, but she never reached the pickup point. The missing person report revealed details that aligned perfectly with months of mysterious sniper activity. Search and rescue operations found no trace of Vasquez or her equipment, Williams reported. Hostile territory, extreme weather conditions, communication equipment failure. She was declared missing in action with presumption of death after extensive search operations failed to locate any evidence. Patterson examined the geographic correlation with growing certainty that they had solved an impossible mystery. The operational area for Mountain Guardian overlaps with 3 of the documented unknown sniper incidents, he said. If Vasquez survived and remained in hostile territory with her precision rifle, she would have been in position to provide overwatch for special operations teams. Williams studied tactical assessments that explained capabilities which had seemed impossible for any human operator. According to her instructors, Vasquez possessed intuitive understanding of battlefield geometry and threat assessment, he read. Perfect tactical awareness, ability to read complex situations instantly, shooting skills that exceeded standard training parameters. The personnel file revealed training history that accounted for the extraordinary marksmanship that had amazed intelligence analysts for months. Advanced Ballistic Computation Course, Custom Ammunition Specialist Certification, Extreme Range Precision Training, Patterson continued. She designed her own ammunition loads for maximum accuracy at extended ranges under combat conditions. Major Patterson contacted higher command with the excitement of someone who had solved a puzzle that had consumed unprecedented resources. We've identified our mysterious guardian angel, he reported through encrypted communication. Staff Sergeant Elena Vasquez, declared missing in action 18 months ago, apparently survived and has been providing precision overwatch for American forces throughout the region. The response from command carried the relief of officials who had been searching for answers that challenged every assumption about surveillance capabilities. Confirm identification and initiate immediate contact protocols, came the reply. If Vasquez is alive and operational, we need to establish communication and coordinate her extraction immediately. Williams examined the final pieces of evidence that completed their understanding of an impossible situation. Vasquez was operating in hostile territory with limited supplies, no support, and presumed dead by friendly forces, he said. She's been protecting American teams while surviving completely independently in some of the most dangerous terrain in the region. The mystery that had consumed intelligence resources and challenged understanding of human capability suddenly had a name, a face, and a service record that explained everything. Staff Sergeant Elena Vasquez, expert marksman and tactical specialist, had been protecting American forces for 18 months while officially listed as missing in action. Patterson prepared to coordinate the most important extraction operation in recent military history, bringing home a guardian angel who had saved countless lives while operating completely alone in hostile territory, armed with nothing but extraordinary skill and unwavering dedication to protecting her fellow warriors. The extraction operation launched at dawn with unprecedented coordination between multiple command levels. General Morrison himself oversaw the mission from the Pentagon, understanding that they were attempting to recover someone whose capabilities had redefined their understanding of human endurance and tactical excellence. Torres volunteered for the extraction team immediately upon learning Vasquez's identity. She saved our lives without knowing who we were, he said to Colonel Harper during mission briefing. We need to bring her home. His voice carried the conviction of someone who understood they owed their existence to a warrior who had operated alone for 18 months in hostile territory. The helicopter approached the coordinates where satellite surveillance had finally detected heat signatures consistent with a lone human presence. Captain Williams, leading the extraction team, spoke into his radio with the reverence of someone approaching a legend. Guardian Angel, this is Extraction Team Alpha. Staff Sergeant Vasquez, if you can hear this transmission, we're coming to bring you home. The response came through encrypted communication in a voice that carried 18 months of isolation and unwavering determination. Extraction Team Alpha, this is Vasquez. Confirm friendly identification and approach vector. I have you on visual at bearing to Savenzaro, range approximately 800 meters. Her voice carried professional precision mixed with carefully controlled emotion. Torres felt his throat tighten as he realized they were finally making contact with someone who had become mythical in special operations circles. "Ma'am, this is Staff Sergeant Torres, Bravo 6 team. You provided precision overwatch during our engagement 4 months ago. We've been looking for you ever since." His voice carried gratitude that extended far beyond his own survival. The helicopter settled into a clearing surrounded by rocky outcroppings that provided perfect concealment and overlapping fields of fire. As the team dismounted, they saw her emerging from a position that had been invisible even from their elevated approach, a carefully camouflaged hide site that showed the tactical genius that had kept her alive and operational. Staff Sergeant Elena Vasquez approached the landing zone with the controlled movement of someone who had survived through perfect tactical discipline. Her uniform was weathered and repaired. Her equipment showed signs of 18 months of field maintenance, but her bearing carried the confidence of someone who had never stopped being a professional soldier. "Ma'am," Captain Williams said as she reached the extraction team, his voice carrying the respect of someone addressing a warrior who had achieved legendary status. "The entire special operations community has been searching for you. We thought you were killed in action during Mountain Guardian." Her response carried the dry humor of someone who had survived the impossible. "Death was greatly exaggerated," she replied, shouldering the custom precision rifle that had become legendary in intelligence briefings. "I've been keeping busy providing overwatch for our teams in the region." Her voice carried the matter-of-fact tone of someone discussing routine duties rather than extraordinary survival and tactical excellence. Torres studied the woman who had saved countless American lives while operating completely alone in the most dangerous territory imaginable. The precision shooting, the tactical awareness, the perfect battlefield coordination, he said quietly. "Ma'am, you've been providing support that exceeded every parameter we use for training world-class operators." Vasquez secured her equipment with the efficiency of someone who had maintained perfect operational readiness without support or resupply for 18 months. "Standard special operations protocols," she said simply. "Provide overwatch for friendly forces, eliminate threats to mission success, maintain operational security." The mission parameters never changed. Captain Williams examined her hide site with growing amazement at the tactical perfection that had kept her undetected by the most sophisticated surveillance systems in the world. "Ma'am, intelligence analysts have been trying to locate you for months using every available technology. How did you remain completely invisible to satellite surveillance and electronic monitoring?" Vasquez shouldered her pack with movements that showed 18 months of living with perfect tactical discipline. "Advanced concealment techniques, minimal electronic signature, constant position changes," she explained. "Standard survival protocols for deep reconnaissance in hostile territory." Her voice carried the professional calm of someone discussing textbook procedures. As the helicopter lifted off, Torres felt the weight of witnessing something that would become legendary in military history. "Ma'am, you saved our lives and the lives of dozens of other operators while surviving completely independently in hostile territory. Your tactical excellence under impossible conditions represents the finest traditions of special operations." The flight back to base carried the silence of warriors who understood they were in the presence of someone whose dedication and capability had transcended every limitation they had imagined possible. Vasquez maintained the quiet professionalism that had characterized her service, but her eyes showed the relief of someone finally returning home after 18 months of solitary warfare. If this story moved you, share your thoughts about your favorite moment or character, or tell us about someone you know who showed hidden strength when everyone else had given up hope. General Morrison's voice crackled through the helicopter's communication system as they approached base. "Staff Sergeant Vasquez, your tactical excellence and dedication to protecting American forces while surviving in hostile territory represents the finest example of warrior spirit and professional competence in the history of special operations. Welcome home." The helicopter touched down at Forward Operating Base Griffin, where personnel had assembled to witness the return of someone who had become mythical. As Vasquez stepped onto the landing pad, she carried herself with the quiet dignity of someone who had never stopped being a soldier, never stopped protecting her fellow warriors, and never stopped believing in the mission that had sustained her through 18 months of impossible survival and legendary service.